As people are coming in, I want to welcome you, invite you to put your name and where you're calling from in the chat. Come on in, you're at session 5. Whoa, I'm so excited. So excited to see you all here. Session 5 of Waking the Dreamer. And today we're going to be discovering our inner shaman. And you're going to be receiving the healer's rite. So I'm really excited to be here. Initiations and energy transmissions just get me all fired up. So I'm happy to share this with you today. So Catherine, we've got the beautiful Catherine here supporting us behind the scenes, and many others here as well supporting our work today. So very great, feeling very grateful and thankful to be here with you in this virtual space. And so, as I've done in other sessions, I invite you to use your imaginal mind. So important in shamanic work, critical tool and skill to develop, to bring us all into a sacred place of your own imagining, somewhere that feels beautiful and safe and sacred, whether it's on a mountainside or in a grassy meadow, in a beautiful lodge, on a beach, wherever your place is. Bring us all there, together in this circle, sitting around, sitting on the earth, feeling her support underneath us. And in the center of the circle, see, we've created a sacred center. A beautiful scarf, maybe it's rainbow colored today. And there's some flowers, and we've each placed our sacred objects there, whether it's a medicine bundle or a special stone or even a special piece of jewelry that has some significance for you, or a photo, whatever, something to represent you, and see all the different things that are there, how beautiful they are. They glow with that energy of sacredness and power. So today, what are we doing today? Today you're going to, first of all, receive the healer's rite. I'm going to give you a little background about it and how you can use this healer's rite and your own healing journey. I'm also going to have some people who've worked with me. I call them students. We're all students and teachers on this path. But some who have I've had the pleasure to work with and to share this particular wisdom with, and how it's impacted their lives. So you get to hear their voices. And then I'm going to tell you about my fall offering and a special bonus, particularly big bonus for all you who've been on this journey with me these past 5 weeks. And for you to discern if this is something for you, if this is something that's calling you. So, Catherine, do we have any check-ins there to share?
We have a bunch of locations. So I'm seeing Romania. We've got Romania. We've got lots of folks from Ontario, Newfoundland, Campbell River, BC, Los Angeles. Let's see. Lots of gratitude. Edmonton. Yeah.
Excellent. Wow. Welcome, Romania. I think that's the most distant place so far. Excellent. Hello, hello. Welcome. Okay. So people from all over the world here today. And of course, I also want to acknowledge all those who are in the course and unable to be here at this particular time, but who will be watching this later, know you are part of this circle. You are here gathered with us in this virtual space right now. And even though you'll be listening later, you will still receive the energy and the information that's coming through these words and through this medium today. Because we are always all connected in outside of linear space and time, what we call shaman time, right? It's that place of the eternal and of the infinite. So that's where we're collecting today. So the healer's rite. I'd like to share with you the healer's rite. So as I've said, this is an energetic transmission. And the origins of this rite has been, I received them through my teachers at the Four Winds, through Alberto Vallado, who was mentored and trained by medicine people from the Andes. And in the Andes, they have their oral history of how their ancestors came from Siberia, and they crossed the Great North and came over the Bering Straits, that big land bridge, and came down into the Americas and to the South Americas and to the Andes. And so this is how they trace their lineage of the great healers of the past, the great medicine people of the past. And so Alberto in 2006, when he was with a group of medicine people at the top of the mountain, was given instructions that these shamanic initiations, and at the time there were a set of 9, were to now be opened up to whoever was called to receive them. That this was the time the world needed this information, and they needed these energetic upgrades to their luminous energy field. And there was some urgency. And so Alberto accepted that and created what's called the Menaiki program, which is a version of those shamanic initiations for whoever are called. And I've been giving these transmissions, being a conduit for those transmissions now since 2006. And they are part of all of my courses and workshops. So the healer's rite in particular is the very first one. It's the one that that activates your own personal healing journey. And it does this not at a psychological or an emotional level that we're so used to in the West, you know, that healing involves those levels, and it does. But this transmission activates your healing journey at an energetic level. And so what I've experienced is that those healers come, like during the night, I've you know, in the middle of the night, woken up and know they're there working on me, that they're doing some energetic work. And this rite activates your personal healing journey, healing the wounds of the past in particular, and those of your ancestors that you're carrying. So, and when, of course, you are healed, when those wounds heal within your field, that travels back into the past and heals it all the way back in your lineage, and of course, for those who are to come. So, this also activates the healing power of your hands, and this particular rite is transmitted into the palms of your hands. So I'm going to lead you now in a way to prepare yourself to receive this rite. But what I want you to know is that once you receive this rite, you are then connected with this lineage, this ancient lineage of healers and wisdom keepers. And you can call on them. The best times to call on them are before you fall asleep at night. You know, you can ask for help with a specific issue or that's coming up, that's up for you. And also during your meditations, when you're meditating, it's another time that you can call on them and ask them to come and to do some healing work with you. So these will be with you. They will, once you've received this rite today, you will be able to call on them. And they are the lineage of, Leica that's come through my teacher and my spiritual lineage. However, they are available, and to call anywhere, to anyone. These initiations there are versions of these same initiations in every tradition, in every mystery school tradition, and in every indigenous culture. Will have a version. In the Far East, they have a version of these 9 rites of initiation as well. So I'm really excited now to help you prepare to receive these. So I thought I had a note about that, but anyway, here we go. So I'm going to invite you, open heart, open body, to just open and invite all levels of your being to receive this initiation. And if you would, and if you can, just be sitting with your palms open on your hands, on your lap. Your hands open and palms facing up. And I'm just going to open my sacred space, my personal sacred space, and open my sacred space over all of you. All right. And so, opening to receive. Bring my hands to my heart. Connecting with that lineage now. Lineage of the Leica, the great holders of this rite. And then I'm bringing my hands to my belly. The intention of awakening and attuning you to the power of right action, the power to manifest, and bringing that into your palms. And then bringing my hands to my heart, connecting with the power of love, of compassion. And bringing that power, attuning you to the power of unconditional love. And then bringing my hands to my forehead. And here, activating the power of vision, of understanding, of right thinking. And bringing that energy into the palms of your hands. The power of clarity and vision. Informing that unconditional love and that right action. Power to manifest what's needed on your healing path. And now I'm gathering up your hands. Gathering your hands, open palms. I'm going to make this energetic transmission through my breath into the palms of your hands. And then bringing your palms together, I invite you to bring your palms together and up to your heart, in front of your heart, in prayer position. And just feeling and sensing into the power of this transmission, this healer's rite. Knowing that this will integrate through all the levels of your being, all the layers, all your bodies, over the coming days and weeks. As you remember to call upon this lineage, as you're falling asleep at night, and in your meditation time, invite them in. Be specific with what you need. Request their help, and they will come. That's the promise. When you call, they will come. Bringing back my field, my light. So allow yourself to bask in that energy of that transmission. And know that you can come back and watch this video again and receive this transmission again. Now it's encoded into this recording and will be here for you to receive again. And every time you receive them, I've learned they go deeper. So it's a good reason to renew them regularly. In fact, we do that in our training, encourage people to give and receive as much as possible. So, thank you. Feel free to put any comments in the chat, anything you want to share about that experience, and we'll get time later maybe to read them. If you want to share, make sure you share with everyone, the panelists and everyone. All right. Okay. Now after that, as that energy is so sweet, it's always a little difficult to then get back into thinking mode again. But we shall do it because I've got something really special for you now, and that is an opportunity to hear personal stories of how this particular wisdom tradition has impacted people. I mean, I could, talk to you all evening, and I've had lots of time to talk to you about how it's transformed my life and brought me to places I never could have imagined. And the fact of being able to talk to you and be sharing this with you here today is a great gift and a great honor. But I wasn't always here. I will tell you, I was a very anxiety-ridden person who had all kinds of fears and hang-ups. Found it very difficult to talk to any more than one person, one or two people at a time. Had anxiety and panic attacks. So if someone had told me that I'd be doing this today, I wouldn't have believed them. I would have thought that was a fantasy, not possible. But here I am, and feeling very, very grateful to be here. So my path of personal transformation, I tell about in my book, and as part of the course, you receive that book if you take the course. And my book's available on Amazon, Return to Pangea, if you want to learn more about my personal story. But in the meantime, I'm going to invite you to hear the stories of some of my friends and colleagues here today who you may have noticed have been helping to transmit and hold the space as well for this rite and for this course. So thank you to all my friends here. So I'm going to let's see, who first? Who wants to go first? Carolyn, would you like to go first? Okay, yeah, feel Carolyn's ready. So she's got some. Carolyn I've known for many years, and she's somebody who was called to this path even before I was, and I got to connect with here in Newfoundland when I came back and began to teach and share here, and so I'm very honored that she would be willing to speak to some of the work she's done with me and just how this work has transformed her life. So you go, Carolyn. You got the stage.
Thank you, Allison. And I want to say that it is the most important thing in my life because shamanism percolates through every aspect of one's life, whether you're thinking about it or not. And I'd like to share now a few of my experiences and reflections over time. I've been very fortunate to be deeply connected with nature for all my life. And I think even as children, we experience some wonderful shamanic-like experiences that are that help us get through the difficulties of childhood and think back to nightmares and repetitive dreams. In my case, I would always have an image that would appear after this nightmare that would allow me to come back to a calmer space, and I would say a prayer. And I was told, I was only about 4 or 5 years old, if I was that, to recite the Lord's Prayer. And I did that, and those dreams got fewer and fewer. And so throughout life, one learns that there are many things that are unexplained in the invisible world, in the children's world. We have invisible friends, we have animals that we talk to. It's all part of that bigger picture of life that's not recognized by our Western world or Western media or anything like that, but it's very much part of who we are. So I learned also very early on to pay attention to songs or snatches of conversation or headlines in a newspaper that would give me an answer or direction to a question or something I was pondering. And I found that always worked for me. I relied a lot on synchronicities. Synchronicities had to be there in order for me to move forward. And when I think about meeting my future husband, the things that happened that were only in his realm of experience that was synchronistic with mine. And I think Spirit said, well, I know she's not going to marry him unless she's given a lot of convincing. And so that happened. And but with that, I think comes the ability to move through the difficulties of relationship because living and loving and in relationship is not easy. And very happy to say that we've been married for 50 years now. My formal shamanic training happened 1995, I think, when I was exposed to Alberta Vaholo at a holistic institute in Upper New York State. I've always been a lifelong learner, and I was doing writing workshops, and I was doing Reiki workshops, and I did healing touch and all of those things at my home base. And every time I said, this is wonderful, but there's something more. I need that visionary piece. And when I met Alberto and studied with him 1995, it was the place that I knew I'd come home. So For 25 years now, I've been doing a lot of very wonderful work, and a lot of it by my own, fire ceremonies and journeying and activities in the middle of the night, because I seem to be one of those who gets 3 hours of wakefulness every night. And those are the things that we just have to come to grips with and learn that that's important, and that's the way it is, and we move forward. And Allison asked me if I would mention some actual personal experiences, and I'd just like to mention a couple of things that were very recent. I was doing some ancestral work with the photographs and old documents that I knew had to be moved on. They had to be destroyed. I didn't want somebody else destroying them. And so I made a gift bundle, and I put it together, and I put it into the fire. And I had a marvelous response after that. And at the time, I was suffering from a very painful hip problem, or hip injury, and I was hobbling around, and my husband was helping me, and I said, oh, I was at the fire, and I said, oh, I need some tobacco. And I just finished giving all this offering and doing these prayers to the fire, and I turned to go back to the house to get the tobacco, to hobble back, and all of a sudden, as I went up over the lawn, there was this adjustment in my hip. And lo and behold, by the time I got to the house, there was no more pain. And I said, thank you, ancestors. Thank you. That's, this is direct revelation of how the shamanic process works. And once you get practicing and working in this way and being conscientious of the events around you, and always expressing gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most important things you can do. Meet the day with gratitude. Say thank you for everything, even the hard bits. So it has been a wonderful journey through many years now, and I'm so happy to be back in Newfoundland with my shamanic work with Allison and a group of us who are strengthening and holding the space on the east coast of North America. Amen.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for that beautiful sharing. Yes, because I've got cold shivers now, feeling the power of your words. Thank you for sharing your story with everyone here today. So let's see, Diane, are you here, Diane? You're still on? I thought she was having problems. You are?
You just need to unmute yourself, Diane. Yeah, that's okay.
Excellent. Well, Diane is a more recent fellow journeyer on the path, and I'm sure she'll share a little bit about how we've met, just I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But again, some very synchronistic signs for her, and I hope she'll share part of that with you. So Diane, you go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Can you see me? Because I have a big, there we go. Okay, great. Nice to see everybody. I called Allison this morning because I didn't get any sleep last night, and I was concerned about doing this today. And I thought about everything in the world last night. So in any case, I'm going to read you a little bit about what I wrote, because my connection with heart comes through writing. So here it is. So I had already been on a spiritual path when I found out about Allison. I was with a group of women called The Wheel, and we met in Guelph and other places. And we did a little bit of work with Shaman as a part of a group of archetypes. And that ended after 15 years for me. and some of the people have passed now. And so I was on, as I am a writer, and I started working with a woman named Lorraine Gain in Salt Spring Island on the west coast of Canada, who I had also met in Ontario. And I didn't know about Allison until this woman said, "I think you should read Allison's book." And Allison had been working with her as well. So that was a good first connect. And about a year after I read that book, I decided that I needed to connect up with other women. And I decided to get in touch with Allison. And there were other connections with her, which I won't talk to you about now, but they seemed as though they were otherworldly. So that was that. But it was about her book that really drew me to her. It was its honesty. And because I had been struggling with my own work at that time, reading this book of Allison's and seeing how she was struggling to get somewhere and finally finding her way home really had a huge impact on me, because I felt like I wasn't connected to home myself. So I wanted to meet her, and the shamanistic part of her story really intrigued me as well. So I need to connect here for a minute. Several of my sisters from that group recently left the planet. So I was searching for something that could help me with the rest of my time here and deepen my personal path. So I signed up for Allison's Awakening the Dreamer course, not really knowing what to expect, not having had an introduction to the course such as you have had in the last 5 weeks. And I had already worked with dream and ritual, so I was delighted to find it again with Allison. I found the rites intriguing and working with partners illuminating for my personal journey, all under the guidance of Allison as I made my way through the initiation. I found her teaching methods clear, her connection with the body important, her generosity with her time exceptional, and her knowledge about how the land and spirit connect essential. So I worked with her on 4 different occasions. I found a deeper connection with the land in my own backyard. I feel a tremendous connection with Newfoundland and with the women I encountered there. But this sense of home that I feel in my own backyard is nothing I've experienced before in my entire life. So as I honor everything in my line and in my line of vision and beyond, it goes to the town I live in, it goes to the paths I walk on, and it's a very good feeling. So that sense of home has expanded to the earth. It's of greater concern to me and my beliefs about how I fit into the mystery of it all. I know I've changed as life happens around me and as I share what I have learned. So now I call in the ancestors for guidance and assistance. I have a picture of one which came to me through paint. I do my own ritual as I invite all the ancestors, all the illuminaries, my own connection with my own people, the past and the past. And I know I'll continue to work with Allison. as I always find new things to think about her as I move forward on my own path. I have a great connection with the trees, particularly, and I have a great deal of gratitude for everything I've learned in the last few years. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you, Diane. Oh boy. So it moves me so deeply, these connections that are made through this work and walking this path. And all of these beautiful women here sharing today, I never would have met if I hadn't stepped onto this path, if I hadn't answered my own soul's calling, as scary and as unfamiliar as it was. So thank you, Diane. Thank you. And so now I'm going to invite Deborah Jones. Deborah is a healing practitioner who very early when I stepped onto the teaching path in particular, I stepped onto the healing path, but when I stepped onto the teaching path and was so fresh and green, Deborah was one of those who answered her soul's call to show up to one of my weekend workshops. Or anyway, I'll let Deborah speak to that because what she has done in her professional work as a healing practitioner and as a teacher herself is extraordinary. So, Deborah.
Thank you, Allison. Thanks, everyone, for being here today. My story is a short story, but a very profound story. So I grew up in England, and I would have said I didn't have a spiritual bone in my body because I wasn't aware of what I'm aware of now. And I had in 2007 reached the level of Reiki master in my healing practice. And somebody suggested that I take one of Allison's shamanic courses. And so I was curious. And so I went online to Alberto Villoldo's site and where he has videos. And I watched the videos for 3 hours straight until I realized what I was doing. And I thought, this has drawn me in. There's something about this. I don't understand it. I don't know anything about it, but I have to do it. And so I drove, I think it was 7 or 8 weekends in a row. It was over an hour's drive to get to Allison, and I don't like to drive anywhere really, but I did that every single weekend. And it was the most amazing experience because it started to pull all the pieces together for me. So all the things that I've been doing and all the things that I've been learning about energy and energy work, and it didn't really click until I remember sitting in one of Allison's classes, and all of a sudden it all made sense. And that was the biggest aha moment, and I'll never forget that. And thank you, Allison, for that. It really woke me up. And so on my drive home that day, I had this urge. I needed to go find some feathers, and I needed to get some shamanic music to listen to. And I didn't know where that was coming from. So it was almost like I'd caught the bug, the shamanic bug. And I just needed more and more and more of it. And so I took in all the words, I took in all the lessons. And as soon as the course was over, I decided I have to share this with people. And so I started teaching it right away. And for me, I need to get my head around something. It needs to make sense. But I jumped in with both feet. And when I look back at it, I realized that it was the communication with the ancestors and the healers and the helpers that were just pushing me through. And so that is kind of, I've allowed myself to be guided by them. And so now I listen and I hear their whispers, and they help me with my clients in the healing room. And it just, there wasn't a spiritual connection to the Reiki that I was doing, the healing that I was doing, until I took the shamanic course. And I'm always still learning. So that was 2007, and here we are in 2020. And it has affected my life. It affects my life every day. And going back to what you've heard before, the connection with nature in my own backyard is is so incredible, and I am so blessed when I wake up and I look out the window and I feel nature. And before, it would have just been, it's outside, go do your work, right? So this is something that has allowed me to get in touch with a deeper me, the me inside. And so for all of you, and I've been with you these 5 weeks as well, I wanted to be part of this course, even though I've been teaching it for years. I have learned more in these last 5 weeks that I have in a little while as well, because I've got other energies, and the guides that work through Allison have now been sharing their wisdom with me too. And so it just explodes. It just is, it's just incredible. And so that's my story. And I really, I cannot stress enough that it has completed the work that I do. It is part, it was a missing piece that I didn't even know was missing. And so I thank you, Allison, for sharing this with everyone. And thank you everyone for listening to my story. And I hope you'll have some of these wonderful stories to share with others down the road as well. So thanks, Allison.
Thank you, Deborah. Beautiful. Thank you for being here and for just being here on this earth and all the work that you do to share this wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. So, wow, I could stay here a long time. And in fact, there were others that offered to share. But for now, I'm feeling, your time, we've moved into the last 15 minutes. And so I feel like, I think it's time now for me to share about the course that I'm offering in the fall. And I'm sure that you can feel already why it is I do this work. I mean, what these women have had to share, and many others that I've worked with over the years, the transformations I've seen, the ability to share something that's so powerful and life transforming is to me a great gift and a great mystery. Why me? But I want you to know that we all have this. We all have within us the gifts that we came to share in this lifetime. And if I do nothing else in these 5 weeks of awakening you to that possibility, and to the desire to be that, to express that, to step into more of who you are, of your own gifts and your own ability to connect, with this bigger invisible world, this spiritual realm that is so waiting just for you, and just for each of us to reach out and to ask for help and to begin that, I say that conversation, that communion, right, with that bigger world. And this, all of this, the ability for you to transform your own life is such a gift to the earth and to the universe and to the cosmos. And if you have a calling to share it with others in whatever way, as a healer, as a teacher, as a health practitioner, this can be, again, what a gift if that's your calling. And then in the biggest scale of all, which is I think the most important, the most dear to my heart, is that reconnection with nature, with the tree beings, with the animals, and with the mineral beings and those intelligence and the wisdom that they have and are waiting to share with us. This is the opportunity now. This COVID-19 has given us an opportunity. We might see it as a crisis and as a real challenge, and indeed it is challenging us in ways that are unprecedented, but it's also an opportunity and a call to go deeper into our own work and to reconnect in a new way with the earth and with our environment and with the spirits that are supporting us at this time. And I mean the spirits of heaven and the spirits of earth, the invisible realms. So the joy and the satisfaction, the sense of fulfillment, that I'm on purpose when I'm sharing this work, and empowering other people to step onto this path is something that is priceless. I mean, this is my soul's calling and my greatest pleasure and joy. So the fall course, okay, 9 weeks, and the course will be starting in September, September 16th. I'll give you those details after. But the topics that I've been introducing you to over the last 5 weeks of animism, of multidimensionality and ritual, we will be going deeper into those topics, and I'll be giving you more practices for expanding your consciousness, for transcending duality and shifting perspective, shifting our perceptual state. So important now with what's going on in the earth. We have to be able to rise above, the physical, emotional, mental levels into the spiritual and energetic realms. And that is truly the gift of the shamanic path. It allows us to move into higher levels where the work we do is so much more efficient because we have so much support. And the perspective, we are uplifted, and we uplift all of life with us. And so that ability to, be able to very quickly shift your perspective is a very important skill that I'm looking forward to sharing and teaching you how to do. Working more with the luminous energy field to keep ourselves clear, very important now with so much toxicity and negativity afoot. So being able to, care for ourselves and our luminous field is a priority. This is the most important thing you can be doing now to keep yourself clear. And continuing practices to build relationships with the spiritual world, with the more than human world. Also will be doing. And some new topics that I didn't get to talk and share about, the medicine wheel, understanding the intricacies, the geometries, the sacred. There's a whole body of knowledge related to the medicine wheel that I'm really excited to start sharing with you. More ancestral healing, more practices that you can do. You got a taste of it in this 5 weeks. And your elemental connections, right? With nature. And of course, shamanic initiations. There will be more shamanic initiations peppered throughout that 9-week course in the fall. So, but the thing that I was so glad to hear all of my special friends talk about today is perhaps the biggest gift of all. And that's the ability to work with other people, to be in community, and to be doing this work with people who are also living the shamanic path, or actually doing it, is such a gift. In the past, and Carolyn spoke to this, there was a need, and we have perhaps survived because we worked alone. That was a great protection in the past, and when this work had to go underground. But that's not the way of the new earth. I mean, this COVID is teaching us that these connections that we have with our loved ones, with our community, and with the earth itself, with all the beings on the earth, is critical. And so working with others, this is part of this is a new way. This is a new earth. It's coming together in unity and working together. No longer doing it by yourself. The do it yourself approach is not going to be supported by the energies of the new earth. It's no longer necessary. And so moving towards that, working together and bringing our energies and our intentions and our prayers, as we do in moon circles and other rituals, is the new path. This is the path forward into the new earth. So that's the pieces that we'll be doing more of in the fall. And I can invite you to go to my page, and Catherine will be putting the link up to that page that you can go and read more about the course. And and I will tell you about the time and the date. How are we doing for time? I'm looking. Oh my gosh. Okay. What else do you need to know? At the end of the course, I talked to you from the beginning about the importance of intention, our individual intentions, and the power when we come together with shared intentions for ourselves and for the earth is, exponential, right? Exponential. And so the outcomes that I see for you, what you will experience as a result of being in that 9-week course is to really realize, to really embody your place in the creation, in that great circle of life, to find your right place. Been so important for me, and you can hear it in the stories of the other women who shared today, how important it's been to them as well, to find the right place and to find, where you belong, place and feeling. And that may very well be right where you are. But if you don't have that feeling that you belong there, then there's something missing, right? Because we all, and you have a right to belong. You do belong here. You're a child of the universe, and you belong here. Awakening that divine feminine wisdom within, and I've been talking about it, maybe not explicitly, but talking about your, intuition. You've heard other people talk about the importance of recognizing signs and synchronicities, of using your imaginal mind, right? Being fully embodied and letting your body's instinctual wisdom teach you and guide you. All of that is our feminine wisdom that's had to be suppressed, denied, and pushed, deep, because it's not, still not really given credulence in our world, in our Western world in particular. So awakening, though, that feminine wisdom within you, within your own body, your own psyche, is such an important path right now for all of us, for the earth herself, and for our place in the cosmos, the earth's place, as she finds her way back as well, to her home. So recognizing how your past, we all have a past, we all have stories, we have a history, and there's lots of wounding, huge wounding, ancestral and also karmic, from our karmic lifetime and lineage, so much wounding, but realizing that doesn't define who you are. That's not who you are. That's just the experiences you've had, and that you've been, and gleaning the wisdom and the power that those experiences have brought you is so important now to call back, and I've mentioned soul retrieval, right? It's calling back all those parts of yourself that you've had to push and deny and that have, been forgotten. So turning your wounds into wisdom, beginning to source directly from nature. And again, very inspired to hear how the women here, and always that reconnection of being able to, it isn't just, some objective wisdom or messages, which is powerful and amazing when it happens, but it's also the power, right? And reconnecting. That was so big for me. One of the first times I had an energy session, the healer said to me, "You're not even in your body. Like, you're like 2 feet outside your body," right? So that kind of, coming back fully into our body allows us to access so much more power. And that comes through connection with nature, because nature is just waiting, right, to infuse us again with life force, to reconnect us back to the web of life, which sources and creates this beautiful earth, right? Renews it constantly and continually. So being able to source is really important. And how many more things? Okay, well, activate your multidimensional awareness. That, will be a given. Just becoming, again, we are multidimensional. And as I talked about briefly, there's at least 9 dimensions of consciousness that we have access to through our physical being. And so, starting to tap into that. And of course, experiencing the deep and lasting connections that happen when people of like mind, people who are called, answering the call of their soul to step into this, new path, into this new way of being in the world. When you come together with other people, again, that, those friendships and relationships are the ones that will sustain you and again help you feel and experience again being held, supported, and loved. Because for many of us, the feeling of being supported, is a really big thing. Again, past wounds, stuff that we're bringing forward, but no longer relevant or necessary in this new earth. So that we're creating and dreaming together by stepping into it. So the details for those on the call, for those who have participated and listened and, either in present time or in future time to these calls, I'm offering a huge discount that won't be available to anyone else, but it will only be available to this group, a bonus of $200 off the price of this 9-week course in the fall. And there will be a special link for you. So while you can go to the web page and look at the course and the details of what's offered, because it isn't just the course, there's also a signed copy of my book, the reading of which will be a part of and integrated with the course, and a beautiful kit, a Shaman care kit with some of the products that I make personally right here in Grossmoen, and attendance at my moon ceremonies, and also, there will be homework. I'm just letting you know, giving you a heads up that there will be deepening experiential exercises that you'll be doing between classes, and of course connecting again with your buddy partners in the course to do work together. So that's it. Special link. Catherine's going to put that in the chat box now, and that's the link you use to register and get that $200 discount. So do not sign up on my webpage because that's not got your bonus in it. The link for the bonus will also be in the email that will come tomorrow. So you'll have it in your email with the replay of this session. So that's how you would register. This special bonus will apply only till Friday, midnight on Friday, this coming Friday, which is the 21st. And because I know we all need I always need a deadline so that I can make the decision. And I know that 3 days is usually the time that we need to really process through something and discern if it's right for us, whether that's asking for guidance in some way from the spiritual realm. You can ask for a sign. Is this the right path for me? Because I only want you here if it's the right path for you and the right time for you. Because that way you're going to get everything you need and the most out of this course. So yeah, that's my invitation. And I hope you will join me. So I've gone 1 minute past, and I hope you can stay with me for 1 more minute, because I want to read a poem that has, from the first time I read it, it's by William Ash Bacon. And I'm already getting emotional just thinking about reading it. So anyway, hope my voice is clear and can come through, and this is my invitation to you. It's up to us to re-enchant this planet Earth. We are the elves and the giants. We are the shining ones, daughters of the moon and sons of the sun. We are the shapeshifters. We are the mysterious light shrouded in mist at the dawn of our time. And it's up to us to re-enchant this living planet Earth. Up to us to midwife at our own rebirth, to send our dead along the ancient pathways to the future. Up to us to re-enchant this living planet Earth. It's up to us to break the spell that steals the colors from the world and leaves it lifeless. It was our spell. We can break it. It's up to us to break the spell that steals the music from the wind and rain. It was our spell. We can break it. We shall dance the magic dance, and our bodies will remember. We will sing the magic songs, and together we'll remember how to live together, how to love each other, how to ride the eagle, and how to call the deer home. Sweetest blessings on your day and on your week. And I hope to see you in the circle. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for being with me, for joining me on this journey, for showing up. Thank you. Deepest blessings. Goodbye.